6 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Good evening, everybody. It's Mark Klein hanging out with you. Thanks for hanging out, joining us on another episode of the infamous Blues Warehouse. Welcome. Every week we bring you a live band on this stage doing what we like to do, entertaining you, the viewers at home. So we hope you appreciate what we're doing tonight. I think you're gonna. On the stage with us tonight, we've got Long Island's own, the Doghouse Blues Boys. I'm going to start with John Rattlesnake Hensler, vocals, frontman. How you doing, John?
Doing all right, Mark. How you doing?
Supporting that hat real well, I want to begin by saying. Looking good.
It was a gift from Kenny Lewis.
Kenny.
I told him they didn't make one for this head, and he said, oh, yes, they do.
Kenny, I'm a little topless over here. What's going on, my man?
We're going to bring you one next time, Mark.
Well, I'll tell you what, I appreciate that, but we're going to introduce Long Island and all of the world to this amazing ensemble of musicians immediately, Rattlesnake Hensler. Then we'll come back and chat with you fine boys. What are we doing first?
We're doing a Kim Wilson song called Big Man.
You good to go?
Oh, yeah.
Right here on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, please welcome the Doghouse Blues Boys.
Takes a big man to cry. So why do I feel so alone? After hearing all your lies and hearing you say goodbye, I'm still big enough to cry. Why can't things ever be just like they used to be? Walking hand in hand, and baby, I was your man, and you love only me. Well, I'm down on my knees, baby, and I'm begging to come on home. Well, I guess aside all my foolish pride, and baby, I'm so low. Please come back where you belong. I promise I won't do no more. And after hearing all your lies and hearing you say goodbye, I'm still big enough to cry.
yeah. This week's featured artist, the Doghouse Blues Band. Nicely done as always, gentlemen. John Rattlesnake Hensler, lead vocals, front man on this project.
Yes, sir.
It's good to see you again, my man.
Yeah, it's good to see you, bro.
Let's talk about some history with you for starters, if we can. Let's talk about that big voice on you, that unique contribution your voice lends to this amazing ensemble of musicians. How long have you been performing live? Let's start with that.
You know,
You start
for a long
young?
time, you know, since high school.
Okay.
You know, like 10th grade or, you know, 13, 14 years old. I don't know.
Couple of
man.
short years ago for you?
Yeah, you know, yesterday.
Still supporting that strong baby face, my man.
This camera's far away.
You
know?
shaved that dirt off your face there, and you look like you're...
I look as young as Mario.
Oh, just about. Just about.
Mark, you may not know this, but I'm actually younger than John.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
I did know that, actually.
Not even close.
I did know that. Professor DeGAETANO on the keys. We're coming back to you shortly, my man. Let's talk about some things you did musically. High school, junior high, high school, out of high school. What were you doing musically back in those days?
I started with an Air Supply cover band, and
You almost had me. Wow.
oh man, no, you know what it was? I don't, you know, I listened to music and I like singing, but I never sang with a band. The only options out there were like metal bands. So I
You know,
had to-
if you went, I'm all out of love, I would have believed it.
I could do Manilow. You know, I did all that stuff. No. No, it started with like a, you know, a metal band, you know, and
You did the metal thing.
yeah, we did definitely. That's where it all started.
Went through that phase in life.
Oh yeah, I used to have really long hair and everything.
What kind of bands were big influences for you back in those days?
You know, Billy Joel was probably a really big influence back in the day. You know, I loved Billy Joel. You know, really singing and stuff like that. But as far as, you know, I liked Dokken. Believe it or not, that was such a big influence. Queensryche. You know, back in the day, I used to sing. I used to try to sing that. But
Don Dokken. What's the guitar player? George Lynch.
George Lynch.
Can't believe I remember that. You were fans of those boys.
I was
huh?
big fans. I was like the only one.
You and my brother, I think. My brother was a big, you know, most kids, when they get new cars, they got a picture like of a girl in a bikini hanging from the rearview mirror. My brother had a picture of George Lynch.
Wow.
If you can imagine, when he was like in his late teens,
that's
early
awesome.
20s.
That's
Yeah,
impressive.
thought you'd appreciate that.
I did.
We got a lot to do in a short period of time, John. I say we jump into another tune. We'll come back and chat more with you and these fine players. What are we doing next?
This one's called I Can Tell.
You good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Long Island Blues Warehouse, this week's featured artist, the Doghouse Blues Band.
Yeah, I can tell because it's plain to see. I can tell the way you look at me. Yeah, the way you smile and hold my head. Yeah, pretty baby, don't you understand? I can tell, yeah, I can tell. I know you don't love me no more. I'm gonna tell your mama, tell your papa too, yeah. Oh, just what more can a man do? Yeah, yeah, you've been running up and down with a Charlie Brown. Hey, pretty baby, don't you put me down. I can tell. I know you don't love me no more. Come on. Oh, I can tell. Yeah, I can tell. I 'cause I can tell, yeah, I can tell. I know you don't love me no more. Mariam! It's plain to see. Well, I can tell the way you look at me. Yeah, yeah, the way you smile and hold my head. Oh yeah, pretty baby, don't you understand? Yeah, oh yeah, 'cause I can tell. I know you don't love me no more. Well, I can tell, I can tell. I know you don't love me no more. I can tell, I can tell. I know you don't love me no more.
Hi, this is Kirk Vossen from Massac Beach, and you're listening to the Long Island Blues Warehouse.
Well, she complicated, left me in mule ride. She complicated, left me in mule ride. Well, my baby complicated, left me a mule ride. The train pulled out and I swung up behind. Crazy about her, that hard-headed woman of mine. Tall. You know my baby, she's long. Great God Almighty, she's tall. Well, my baby, she's long, and my baby, she's tall. She sleeps with her head in the kitchen, her big feet out in the hall. Crazy about her, that hard-headed woman of mine. Well, I love my baby. Wish she'd come on up here and see me sometime. You don't believe I love her, look at the shape I'm in. You don't believe I'm singing, look at the shape I'm in. Baby, she's so fine. Well, I wish she'd come on up here and see me sometime. You don't believe I love her, look at this shape I'm in. You don't believe I'm singing, look at the shape I'm in. Well, now she complicated, left me a mule to ride. She complicated, left me a mule to ride. Well, my baby complicated, left me a mule to ride. The train pulled out and I swung up behind. Crazy about her, that hard-headed woman of mine.
Yeah, this week's featured artist, the Doghouse Blues Band. Nicely done, gentlemen. I want to grab Kenny String. I was going to say String Bean. Kenny String King Lewis, if I can. How you doing, Kenny?
Well, I did lose 10 pounds. You could call me String.
Have you dropped some weight?
Yeah.
You do look a bit thinner. What have you been doing? The face is drawn out, my man.
Yeah, a little bit of this.
You been
a little
jogging?
bit of that. Yeah, been jogging, playing tennis, and
I found him, by the way.
and having a good time.
Is it your fault?
The 10 pounds he lost.
Yeah.
You you found it.
He found him.
Okay.
He found him.
You used to be Kenny King Lewis. They switched it up a little bit on me. Kenny String King.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I go by many aliases.
All right. All right. Listen, as long as you keep singing and playing the harp the way you do, I don't care what they call you.
Well, you're too nice, Mark. Thank you. You're too kind.
Let's talk about some history with you, Kenny. You've been, first of all, how long has this band, the Doghouse Blues Band, been this band?
Well, it's funny, but we just pulled out a video from our very first gig. It was in 1999, June of 1999. And it was the old Sonny's Place. Is that what it was? The old Sonny's Place.
What town was that again?
It was Seaford. I think it was
Okay.
over in Seaford.
Okay.
And they had just changed ownership. That was our very first gig. It was pretty good to see it.
Back in '99, huh?
Yeah, back in '99. Yeah.
You guys, one of the stronger, longer-lasting bands around the island these days.
Well, that's because we like each other.
You know what? I got a lot of bands in here that like each other, but they don't get along.
Yeah. Well.
Or it's the other way around.
Yeah. Well, we've managed to overcome it, at least.
Whatever you're doing, it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's exactly.
You got a
right.
good, long-standing thing going on with this band. Let's talk about early days for you. Let's talk about when you began musically playing the harp. What were you doing high school and out of high school musically?
Okay, well, just because we're short of time, I'll just tell you a quick story. I was in a band in high school, and in the school I went to, there was avant-garde. They had music week, so they had bands, the local bands playing here and there. Well, we got lucky enough to play in the cafeteria. The day that they had lettuce and tomato for lunch, the band was called Circus Maximus. It was one of the highlights of my career. I never got hit by so many tomatoes in my whole life. And it was a memory that was burned into
your mind.
Everlasting.
Let me backtrack on that for a minute. Lettuce and tomato they were serving for lunch?
Lettuce and tomato sandwiches.
No bacon?
No. We were healthy back then.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. The days of the Depression.
Yeah, but we got tomatoed like you wouldn't believe. It was great.
How long did that project last?
It was a high school band. It lasted for that year, and then the next year we had another band.
All right. All right. Who'd you hook up with in this project first?
Actually, the very first one in this project that's left here was John. He came like the second week, and Joe came about 2 months later. And then, various...
Back in the late 90s?
Back in the late 90s, yeah.
Okay. I know you've had a few lineup changes
Yeah,
over the
we've
years.
had a few
You guys
changes.
are pretty much the founding members, you three, though.
Yes.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
without
Very
a doubt.
Cool. You guys gig all over the island. You guys do a lot of things around the island.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we have a gig coming up next Tuesday at Appliance World. I know that doesn't sound right, but what they do over there, they have... it's Contractors for Kids. It's on Tuesday. It runs from 7 to 10. It's $50 a ticket. What they do is they bring all the best chefs in Huntington, which is known for its restaurants. They come in, and the guys got these fabulous kitchens set up throughout the store. And they serve all their specialties. They have wine, and the band will be playing for that. Appliance World in Huntington.
I wish I knew that. My wife and I just bought a fridge.
Well, as a matter of fact,
I'm off on the timing on that.
I'm going to invite you down as my guest on Tuesday if you'd like to.
I look forward.
show up.
You said wine? My wife's in.
Okay, it sounds good to me, Mark.
Kenny String King Lewis, we thank you so much. We're having a blast in here with you guys. I say we keep it moving. We'll come back and chat more with some of these other fine players. What are we doing next, Rattlesnake?
Nobody loves me like my baby.
You good to go?
He's even more ready to go right here. That's his song.
You lead vocals in this, Kenny?
Hell yeah.
It's mostly a duo.
I'm looking forward to it. Blues Warehouse.
Nobody love me like my baby. Nobody treat me like you do. Nobody love me like my baby. Nobody treat me like you do. She give me plenty. She loves me when I'm weak and when I'm strong. I don't know what she sees in me. I know I'm as lucky as a man can be. If she had $1 million, and if she won the lottery, if she had $1 million, or if she won the lottery, I'd take all that money. I know she'd give it all to me. Professor! She won the lottery. If she had $1 million, or she won the lottery, she'd take all that money. I know she'd give it all to me. Nobody loved me like my baby. Nobody treat me like she do. Nobody loved me like my baby. Nobody treat me like she do. She give me plenty good love. Nobody love me like my baby. 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 Nobody treat me like you do.
Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, the Doghouse Blues Boys. Kick-ass as always, gentlemen. Kick-ass job. I want to grab Joe the Professor, DeGAETANO on the keys. How you doing, Professor?
I'm doing real good, Mark. First, I got to clarify something. I am a little bit older than, I'm about 8 months older than John. So
8 months?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bone of contention between the two of us.
If you said 6 months, I don't think anybody would have argued with you.
5 long years.
5 long years, eh?
No, I'm quite a bit older than John. It's a private joke.
Quite a bit?
Yeah. I got him by a couple of years.
You know, I don't think we've ever clarified, you know, the great nicknames you've given the guys in this project over the years. I want to know where the Professor came from for you.
Well, we actually covered this the first time we were here, which was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I am the Professor because I am the smartest boy in the band.
That's what you said back then. That's what you said. Now I remember.
I am credentialed and degreed, you know, so that's why I'm here. That's why I'm the Professor.
That's where it all comes from, huh?
No, actually, that's not true. You know, I'm a big Professor Longhair fan, and you know, the New Orleans piano. The keyboard player was always either the Professor. They called him the Professor, or you know, they had these nicknames back in New Orleans, and that's where it comes from.
All right, very cool.
Yeah.
Listen, it's all in good fun, and you boys are filled with that on the stage and everywhere you play. It just oozes out of you guys the energy and the excitement and the good times that you boys portray, rub off on one each other, the electricity.
Captain was taken by Captain and Tennille, so he couldn't.
That was already taken?
Yeah, he couldn't get that one.
You could probably sing the Captain and Tennille if you had to, couldn't you? The good old days, huh? The good old days. We got to do a whole separate show just on Rattlesnake, I think, and his past history. Joe, let's talk about some history with you. Let's talk about early days for you with projects and,
I got
music.
Since Kenny brought it up, I have a story too. High school battle of the bands. We were playing. My band was basically a Doors cover band.
Seriously?
Basically a Doors cover band, yeah. And being a keyboard player, a lot of fun, a lot of stuff to do for the keyboards. But anyway, one of the other bands was in the audience watching us, and they started throwing Oreo cookies at us. So I can sympathize with Kenny, although I haven't sunk to the level of getting tomatoes thrown at me, but I have had Oreo cookies thrown at me.
You're still early in your career. We'll see what
Exactly.
happens.
So maybe the tomatoes will come later. You're right. So that was my entree into the business, is the having the Oreo cookies flung at me at high school.
What kind of music were you playing back in those days?
Well, again, it was Doors. That was a Doors band, but we played a lot of Grateful Dead and Jimi Hendrix, all the classic rock at the time. You know, that was the thing. Even though it was the 80s, I don't know if you remember, in the 80s there was a Doors renaissance. Like there was an interest in the Doors at the time. The movie came out with Val Kilmer and all of that, you know. So
that was the 80s?
Yeah, it was.
I think I was still in diapers when that came out.
Yeah.
I might have been a little young.
Yeah. John was especially in diapers at the time.
Let's talk about when you began with the keys. Let's talk about when you started growing into the fine musician you are today. Did you start as a little guy?
Well, thank you. First of all, I'm still learning, Mark, because it's a work in progress. But yeah, I started when I was about 7 or 8, just like the kids start on the piano lessons. I had the little old teacher with the gray hair and the glasses.
Did you want to play back then, or were you kind of forced into it in the beginning?
You know, my sister played, so it was just I tagged along with her, and so my mom just added an extra half hour on, and I started the lessons. But the funny thing is my sister eventually dropped it, and I just took over the piano. So any musical instrument that was in the house, I grabbed and I started playing.
Do you play anything else other than the keys today?
I play all instruments badly, Mark, all of them.
But the passion you grew into heaviest with is what you play today.
I play bad guitar, bad drums, bad bass. I'm multi-talented.
Do you ever horse around with those instruments on stage in front of audiences?
We have, but it's not something that you'd want to videotape. I could tell you that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You like to dabble around the house.
Exactly.
All right. But the keys, obviously, that grew into the passion.
Yeah, I wish I had taken up the piccolo because this thing is pretty heavy, though.
Listen, I've had guys in here with that got to bring the Hammond B everywhere they go. Some guys bring the stand-up bass.
Right.
And they got the little Hondas that they drive, and they got to strap it onto the roof. And worst things have happened, I guess.
Sometimes you make sacrifices for your sound, but I'd need a roadie or two to have a Hammond B3. I couldn't do it myself.
Do you enjoy playing that instrument, speaking of which?
I have played it, and if I had room in my house, I was just telling Kenny as we were driving here, if I had room for it in the house, I'd have one, but they are big, and I don't have room for it. So.
All right. You make do with what you got.
Exactly.
But you could make a little Casio sound like a baby grand if you wanted to, I imagine, with your skill and ability.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's all in the fingers. That's what my wife tells me anyway. It's all in the fingers, Mark.
We're gonna leave that alone for the time being. We appreciate it. Listen, we're gonna plug it later, but I'm gonna ask you to give us the website for this project now, if you would.
We are the Doghouse Blues Band. You can find us at www.doghousebluesband.com or at Facebook /Doghouse Blues Band.
You shorten it down to 2 W's? How'd you do that?
www.
That's why you're the professor. That's right. I was just told.
I can tell the story in 2 W's.
Sounds, again, like another story for another time. Well, I'll tell you what, Joe, the Professor, DeGAETANO, we're having a blast in here with you people. And I'm looking at the time. We've already done 4 tunes, and we probably have time for 3, maybe 4 more.
Okay. Well,
so we might put you guys on the spot and squeeze in an extra tune somewhere in the set based on where the time goes.
Fantastic.
Let's get another tune or two, and then we'll chat with some of these other players, and we'll figure it out as we go, because that's what we like to do on the Blues Warehouse. Can you appreciate that?
Sounds good. We're going to do a song by Van Morrison. It's from the Moondance album, 1970. That came out.
Now, before the drummer counts it in and jumps the gun like he did on me last tune, let me go ahead and say this. Once again on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we are going to keep it moving with the Doghouse Blues Band.
Were born before the wind, also younger than the sun, and the bonny boat was born as we sail into the mystic. Hark now, hear the sailors cry. smell the sea, yeah. Feel the sky. Oh, let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic. And when that foghorn blows in, I will be coming home. Ooh. And when that foghorn blows in, I wanna hear it. Well, I don't have to fear it, and I'm gonna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And together we will flow into the mystic. When that foghorn blows in, oh, you know I will be coming home. And when that foghorn whistle blows, I wanna hear it. Well, I don't have to fear it, and I'm gonna rock your gypsy soul. Whoa, just like way back in the days of old. And magnificently we will flow into the mystic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, come on, girl. Oh, yeah. Oh, won't you stop now? Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah. The Doghouse Blues Boys. Nicely done, gentlemen. Nicely done. Let's grab George Loizidis on the bass if he'll make his way up to one of those front mics. How you doing, George?
Doing great. How you doing, Mark?
I want to begin by saying I believe somewhere in the Bayshore area there's a Dr. George Loizidis.
Yes, there is. There's also a teacher with the same name, except for they all end in ES. Mine is IS.
Gotcha. So no relation, in other words.
No relation.
Had to ask. Had to ask. It's good to see you, my man.
Thank you.
Relatively new to this project, the Doghouse Blues Boys.
Yeah, I got lucky. My other band that I was with for about 7 years just started to have issues, as we'll put it, as does happen sometimes. And I happened to get a call from Joe, and he said they were looking for a bass player, and I came and it just worked out. So
A
it was a
band
good
you
thing.
involved in that had issues?
Oh, yeah, that never happens, right?
That's a relatively unique.
Yeah. Band, marriage, children, those things never happen.
That's like the fifth or sixth time I've heard that this week, I think, from musicians. It's a relatively popular tale, I guess you could say, but stuff happens, and what are you going to do? Let's talk about some history with you before we jump into things you've done in the past. Let's talk about when you began holding down the bottom end real well the way you do. You start as a young guy yourself?
Actually, it's a quick, funny story. I was telling it to the guys a while back. My inspiration to play music was actually Maury Amsterdam.
Really?
Now, I don't know if you know who he is.
Okay. I know the name, sure.
Yeah, played Buddy Sorrell on the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Yeah,
and their very first Christmas special, Dick Van Dyke and, of course, Mary Tyler Moore come out and they dance. And Anne-Marie comes out and sings. She had a beautiful voice. And out comes Maury Amsterdam with this cello, and everybody thought it was a joke. And the guy was one of the most phenomenally accomplished cellists I had ever heard in my life. And it was just great, but I was too young to play cello. So they stuck me with a viola, and I started off with that because I was 8 years old. And then at 10, when I was big enough, I started playing cello. After that, I basically played every string instrument there was.
Is that right? You grew into the passion early yourself.
Oh, it was always music. I mean, my father played violin at Carnegie Hall. His sister played piano. Both of my sisters are incredible singers. It's just something that was in the family.
Runs deep in the family. So you got the bug early.
Oh, yeah, very
You got
early.
the bug early. Very nice, very nice. Let's talk about some early day projects for you. You remember your first band?
Oh, yeah, very well.
How old were you? Teens?
You ready? No, actually before. My first, what I call professional gig was in 1966 at Huntington Townhouse.
Huntington Townhouse.
Yeah.
What was the project?
The name of the band was the Long Island Sound. There you go. That's the original,
What
right?
was the genre you guys were playing? back then?
Monkeys,
Okay.
Tommy James and the Shondells, early Linda Ronstadt.
Very cool. How long did that last?
Actually, I lasted once again, we changed people, but that band lasted all the way through school. Changed a couple people, but it was kind of hard to change too many because I was actually in that band playing bass sometimes and playing guitar a lot of times, depending on who we got into the band and who we lost.
Okay.
But the lead singer was my sister. The other guitarist was her boyfriend, who became her fiance, who became her husband, who became her ex-husband. But anyway, his brother was the drummer. So it was just kind of one of those things where it just stuck.
All right. All right. Stuff happens, like we said earlier.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier. What were you doing? Let's talk about some things you're doing before the Doghouse Blues Band.
Oh,
You mentioned a friend of mine we had in here not too long ago with Doug Harmonica McLean, the drummer named Mike Joes.
Mike Joes and I have known each other. Well, I've known him since he was a little kid. His older brother, George, and I were in school together from 4th grade on. And I've known Mike forever. Him and you might know Doug Johnson.
Yeah, I know Doug Johnson. Sure.
Okay. Me, Doug, Mike, we've played together on and off for years. Did some things, Third Rail with Doug Johnson and Tommy Massell, who's a phenomenal rock drummer.
I think we had Doug in here about a year ago. I'm trying to think of what project he was in.
Who knows? He plays with everybody.
He did something with another bass player named
John Dunn.
John Dunn. Johnny Dunn.
Johnny Dunn. I know
They were in
him
here
well.
about a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Small world,
But
man.
Doug, same thing. His older brother Neil and I were in school together, so we've been doing stuff together forever.
I'm sure you'll agree with me when I say the talent on Long Island and in this great society on Long Island with musicians like no other.
Absolutely. You turn around, you bump into somebody. It's great.
It really is. It's a great community of musicians we have on the island, and you make a tremendous addition every project you touch.
Thank you very much.
So we appreciate what you're all about. George LOIZIDIS on the bass. We thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark.
Look forward to seeing a lot more of you with these boys and all the things to come.
Hopefully they won't throw me out too soon.
You keep doing what you're doing, and my feelings are that you're safe.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. George LOIZIDIS. Boys, what do you think, Rattlesnake? Should we keep it moving?
Yeah, let's do Little Allman Brothers.
You gonna do some almonds?
Yeah.
What's the tune?
You Don't Love Me.
Love it, love it. You good to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. You got
Long
that?
Island Blues Warehouse, we are going to keep it moving with this week's featured artist. It's the Doghouse Blues Boys.
Yeah, you don't love me, pretty baby. You don't love me, yes I know. Yeah, you don't love me, pretty baby. You don't love me, yes I know. 'Cause if you leave me, pretty baby, don't you know you're gonna hurt me so? Yeah, I'm gonna tell my mother. I'm gonna talk to my father too. Yeah, I'm gonna tell my sweet mother. I'm gonna talk to my father too. Oh, I'm gonna tell what those young girls will do to you. Those young girls that do it to you. Oh, come on, Vanessa! I don't see you no more. Yeah, goodbye now, pretty baby. Yeah, if I don't see you no more, no more. 'Cause if you think I'll be your fool, Lord, yeah, you better be on your merry way. I want to grab on the guitar if he'll head on up to one of those mics. Super Mario Arena. How you doing, Mario? Good, how are you? It's good to see. Let's turn that mic a little closer to you. Aim it down a little bit if you would. There you go.
Is that a short joke?
It wasn't. It wasn't, but you just made it one.
I'm 5'8". I'll have you know.
With lifts? Just kidding. Just kidding. Listen, the first thing I want to say with you, we joked about it before when we had you in here a few years ago. Every time I look at you, I think of the old movie, of course, Animal House.
And the
I
big
look like Belushi?
the big scene I wanna start to articulate as best I can is they're all failing. They just like practically burned down the house with the big parties they had. They go, the dean, he's kicking us out. We're all getting kicked out of school. We're all getting suspended and evicted from our house. What should we do? John Belushi and another actor that looks just like you start to say what?
Toga, toga. But I don't know who the actor is. Who is it?
There's a guy in the movie that looks a lot like you,
I
and they
don't know.
start chanting the before they have their big toga party at the end.
Toga, toga.
Something like that, absolutely. Great talking to you. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Let's talk about some history. You're a monster on the guitar. I always loved what you're all about. Let's talk about when you began with the guitar and got involved musically. Did you start as a young guy yourself?
There were guitars around my house ever since I was 5. But the first one I got that was made of wood and had all the strings on it was when I was 13.
Was it an acoustic?
Yeah.
What kind of guitar?
No Name from Lafayette.
Really?
Massapequa, yeah.
Okay, okay.
It's a Christmas present.
And so were you getting serious with it at a young age? Were you into it?
My parents saw me playing toy guitars around the house, so they decided to get me that for Christmas when I was 13.
Okay. Did you take lessons? Are you self-taught? How'd you get started?
I took lessons when I was in my teens.
Okay.
Guy named Ralph Agresta.
Ralph who?
Agresta?
Ralph Agresta?
Yeah, you know him?
No clue.
Oh, okay.
No
He's
clue
great.
who he is.
He's great.
Is he still around today?
Oh, yeah.
Musician? Working?
Yeah, he
working
does
out?
those jam tracks. You know, it's like almost karaoke for guitar.
That I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's him.
And they're great to like learn to solo to and what
Exactly.
have you.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Very cool, my man. Very cool. Let's talk about some earlier projects for you. Were you gigging in bands in and out of high school?
High school and college, yeah, gigging. Cover bands and an original band that Joe was in the 80s.
Called?
Wigs. Spinning Wigs.
Spinning Wigs.
Yep.
What kind of music? Original stuff?
Originals.
Bluesy kind of thing?
Not at all. It's coming out again.
All right. All right.
On Orange Records? I don't know. What's the label? Chrome Orange Records. Chrome Orange.
Is that right?
Yep, it's going to make us millions.
Millions, huh?
Millions, I'll tell you.
All right, I could say something there, but I'm not. Rattlesnake, you make it too easy, my man. You make it too easy. Let's talk about what you were doing before the Doghouse Blues Band. What were you doing before this project?
I hadn't played in the band for about a decade.
Why? You took a little bit of a hiatus.
I was just working. I was out of college and I was working. It just fell off.
Put it
the
down
map.
for a time.
Well, I was still playing at home, but I didn't play in bands.
What made you decide to pick it up and get involved again after a decade?
Joe was at my wedding, and he mentioned that he was in a band, and he said, "Oh, you should come down and jam." And it led to that, and then I wound up sticking. Nah.
How long have you been in the Doghouse project?
9 years.
You've been in 9 years.
Fully vested in the pension plan. Fully vested.
Fully vested. Very nice, my man. Very nice. Always like what you're about, man. You're a hell of a player, man. And I appreciate you putting up with my jokes with the Blues Brothers, with the Animal House thing. But you do have a striking resemblance to you. You got that baby face, man, and you look like one of the characters in the movie.
Younger than John.
I would have to agree with that.
Yeah.
John disagrees, but I'm looking at the two of it. You know what? Because you got the dirt on your face that you need a razor, and you get that off, and you probably look just as young. You still look pretty young. It is too late. It is too late. You're right. The moment passed. The moment passed. Well, I'll tell you what. We appreciate it. Super Mario Arena on the guitar. We thank you, sir. Look forward to seeing a lot more of you with these boys. Let's grab Tom FOSCHINO on the drum kit if he'll pull that mic around for a minute. How you doing, Tom FOSCHINO?
Is this thing on?
There
we
it
go.
is.
Excellent. How are you?
It's good to see you.
You too.
I'll tell you what. We've been doing this video channel thing with the bands around the island for I don't know, a few months now. And our debut show on the video channel was you in a project called F&G Blues Band with the lovely and talented Edeline Hart.
That's right. We had a great video out of that. Thank you.
They do a great job here at EKO.
Yeah, without a doubt.
EKO Studios, the official studio of our program, and you guys were the debuters, so we appreciate you being a part of the first show. I'll tell you, the timing worked out nice because we had to cancel you a few times for one reason or another.
That's right.
We got you. We finally got you in here, and
Yeah.
we just started this great project with the studio. So it was a great show to start. You know, if you got to start with any band. You guys with Edeline was a tremendous.
We had a lot of fun. It was really a great time.
Introduction to what we do. You know, representing what takes place around Long Island. So we thank you again for that. Let's talk about the history with you, Tom. Let's talk about when you began on the kit.
Oh, I think when I was here last, I think I said it was Tracy Partridge that got me involved, or the tambourine, right?
Sounds a bit. That sounds semi. I think I might have blocked that out, actually. I think I might have blocked that out. Let's talk. You played with the infamous Sam Taylor.
I played
we
with
talked
Sam.
about before.
Yeah, sure,
Legendary
sure.
bluesman Sam
Right.
Taylor.
Yeah, I played with a lot of the different bands on Long Island, and you know, and
Bit of a gun for hire, if you will.
a little of that as well. Yeah, so I got some steady projects, I got some part-time projects, and it all keeps me very busy. So, but I'm loving playing here with these guys. Always a great time when I get a chance to play with them.
You make a great addition to any project you touch. And
Thank you.
I wanted to get a quick hello into you.
I
Tom
appreciate
Fascino on the drum kit. We thank you so much. Look forward to seeing a lot more of you with these boys and other things you do. So thank you, boys. We got time for 2 more. So let's do another one. We'll do our goodbyes, and then you boys will play us out. What do you think about that, Kenny String King?
I think I'm ready to sing one.
What are we doing next, boys?
We're going to do a song called Bring It On Home to Me.
Oh, love it, love it. You good to go? Well, right here on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, let's keep it moving with the Doghouse Blues Boys.
If you ever change your mind about leaving me behind, oh, bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving. Bring it on home to me. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whoa, yeah. You know I left when you left, but I only hurt myself. Oh, bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving. Bring it on home to me. Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. Whoa, yeah. I'll give you jewelry and money too. That's not all I do for you. Oh, bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving. Bring it on home to me. Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. Whoa, yeah. You know I'll always be your slave till I'm dead and buried in my grave. Oh, bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving. Bring it on home to me. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whoa, yeah. If you ever change your mind about leaving me behind, oh, bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving. Bring it on home to me.
Always loved the harmonies out of you boys. Always loved what you guys do with the harmonies. Great job as always, guys. We got to thank on guitar over here, Super Mario Arena. Mario, thank you so much, my man. We got to thank back there on the drum kit, if he'll look this way on the drums, Mr. Tom Fascino. Tom, thank you so much. We want to thank Kenny String King Lewis. Kenny, if you'll turn this way and wave. Thank you, Kenny. We got to thank on the bass, George LOIZIDIS. Thank you, George. Back there on the keyboards, Joe, the Professor DeGAETANO. Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, John Rattlesnake Hensler, frontman, vocals. Thank you so much. John, give us the website one more time, please.
DogHouseBluesBand.com and Facebook. Just Facebook is Doghouse Blues Band. You'll find us.
Very nice. You boys are going to play us out in a second, but before you do, KIRK from Mastic Beach, Long Island. Do you have anything to add?
Please remember to check out EKO Studios at ekproductions.com. Remember, they are the official studio of the Long Island Blues Warehouse.
Nice. Wow.
Couldn't have said that better myself, except EKO Studios. Thank you, KIRK BOSSEN, old long-standing friend of mine. Boys, you're going to play us out. What are we going to wrap things up in here with tonight?
5 long years.
You good to go?
Yeah.
One more time on the Long Island Blues Warehouse. Please say goodbye to the Doghouse Blues Boys.
Have you ever been mistreated? You know what I'm talking about. Have you ever been mistreated, baby? You know just what I'm talking about. Yeah, you do. I worked 5 long years for one woman. Yeah, she had the nerve to put me out. I got a job in a steel mill, or shark and steel like I said. 5 long years every Friday I come home. And I give it my heart and say, yeah. Have you ever been mistreated? You know what I'm talking about. I worked 5 long years for one woman. Oh yeah, yeah. She had the nerve to pull me out, and she did. Yes, I finally learned my lesson. I should have long time ago. Next woman that I marry, she gonna work and bring me the gold. Have you ever been mistreated? Oh, baby, don't you know what I'm talking about? I worked 5 long years for one woman. She had the nerve. She had the nerve. She had some nerve. She had a whole lot of nerve. Give me 3. She had the nerve to put me out.